Some Western anti-China forces have accused China of cultural genocide against ethnic minorities in Xinjiang, claiming things like China suppresses the Uyghur language, bans local ethnic cultures, or forces assimilation. Is it really the case? A recent popular feature film gives an eloquent defense for Xinjiang. Titled after its namesake protagonist, Wan Tongshu tells the story of the Han Chinese musician's odyssey of preserving the Uyghur musical heritage of the Twelve Muqam by transcribing the thousands of pieces in line with the international staff notation system. Back in the 1950s, the Twelve Muqam was an endangered art form. With the support of the Chinese central government, Wan Tongshu and his wife traveled thousands of kilometers to Xinjiang and spent their entire career documenting and preserving this ethnic musical tradition. Thanks to such preservation, the Twelve Muqam was inscribed on UNESCO's representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in 2005. Esteemed as the musical encyclopedia of the Uyghur culture, the Twelve Muqam is more than an art form. It carries the language, history, emotions, and collective memory of Uyghur people. Ethnic cultures like it are part of the fine parts of traditional Chinese culture, the root of the Chinese nation. A message we can get from the film Wan Tongshu is loud and clear. China has been valuing ethnic cultures and devoting great effort to preserving it. If a culture were truly being erased, why would the country devote so much effort to preserve and pass it on?
如果不是党中央高度重视12木卡姆，早已失传了。
Recently, I interviewed the British author and columnist Carlos Martinez, who visited Xinjiang and has been following Western media coverage on China. And during our conversation, he spoke about what he has personally observed in Xinjiang.
One thing you notice is there's a huge number of mosques. You see the Uyghur language everywhere. On roads, on every road sign, I would see Chinese characters, Uyghur script, and English a lot of the time. You see books, newspapers everywhere written in the Uyghur language, which is actually, for someone coming from the West, is very impressive.
Carlos said one of the most striking features he noticed was the visible presence of Uyghur language and culture in public life. On the streets, many shops displayed Chinese, Uyghur, and even English side by side. Ironically, such multilingual visibility is often less common in many Western countries.
Western countries have done a terrible job in terms of maintaining minority languages and minority cultures. But you do see it here in China, with China's that's got a very proactive approach to developing equality and developing friendship and mutually beneficial cooperation between the different ethnicities and promoting the languages and the cultures of minority ethnicities. I think China is probably the best example in the world of protecting minority cultures.
Indeed, cultural preservation in Xinjiang goes far beyond Muqam music or bilingual science. It is part of a long-term and systematic effort. The protection and preservation of the fine traditional culture of all ethnic groups is a priority of government policy. In today's Xinjiang, more than 10 languages are used, and the minority languages are widely used in education, publishing, broadcasting, and public affairs. From the Twelve Muqam to traditional instrument shops in the Asian city of Kashi, from prayers heard in mosques to Uyghur scripts visible across the streets. These real-life scenes make the narrative of cultural genocide difficult to reconcile with reality.
The Uyghur culture is actually blossoming, it's not being suppressed. You can see Uyghur people and people of other ethnicities dancing in the squares and playing their music, wearing their traditional dress. They can go to Uyghur cafes and they can go to Uyghur restaurants which have their own traditional food culture.
What makes Wan Tongshu so moving is not only its story about music, it is also a story about memory and cultural inheritance across generations. Culture is not preserved through slogans, it survives through dedication and concrete actions generation by generation. And state support, sometimes invisible and unsung, behind the actions. And in today's Xinjiang, that effort continues.